Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Now today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different from the last couple of videos. Recently, I've been doing some top 5s and top 10s and they've been doing fantastically well. But normally, I'd like to do a few speculation videos every year about the next Pokemon game. That's kind of my thing. That's how my channel got started with Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. If you guys still follow me from then or you knew me from back then, I basically had like 2,000 subscribers. And I covered Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon for pretty much 6-7 months until the game was released, and it was so much fun, and that got me to like 7,000 subscribers, which is still a decent amount, but like it didn't blow up my channel. But speculation is something I've loved doing, you know, since I started YouTube. And I thought, let's just talk about what this year could bring for Pokemon, what we know is going to happen, what we think is going to happen, what I think personally is going to happen, and basically all the possibilities for Pokemon in 2018. Now obviously, question of the day to you guys, what do you want from Pokemon in 2018, and what do you actually expect? So you can have your hopes, basically, what you want from Pokemon in 2018, but what you really think will happen. In this video, I'll be going over both my hopes and my predictions for Pokemon in 2018. But first of all, let's just start off with what we know about Pokemon in 2018, what is guaranteed for this year. So first of all, we know there is a brand new 3DS game. I say brand new, Detective Pikachu is coming out in the West. They've technically already had part of it in Japan, and they're actually going to get part 2 obviously this year. But we get it as a whole game. They've had it separated into different parts, and they've had to wait a few years for the second part to come out. So that's kind of new for us, but not really for Japan. So I don't really count that as a new Pokemon game, but we know that is coming out, I think, March 23rd North America and Europe, and 24th for Australia. And yeah, so that's something we definitely know is happening for Pokemon this year. And the second thing we know that's happening for Pokemon this year is, of course, the annual movie. The movie we get every year. We always get a Pokemon movie. And this one is going to feature Lugia, and that's all we really know about it so far. We've seen a redesign of Ash, which might follow on from the 20th Pokemon movie, I Choose You. Not sure on that yet. Also seen a female character. We don't know anything about her as well. Also holding up a Pokeball to the sky, whether that's related to Lugia, or maybe it's linked to the mythical Pokemon Zeraora. That's still not been released officially by Nintendo. Yes, you can get it through hacking means, but I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about officially, so that could be in the film. But I definitely expect this Pokemon to be released this year regardless, because we are moving into a new generation, and Zeraora is classed as a Generation 7 Pokemon. So that's what we know is happening with Pokemon this year. Not very much, but we are only in February, and I definitely expect some news for Pokemon either next month or April onwards. So next up, I'm going to talk about my personal hopes for Pokemon this year, and then we're going to move on to my predictions for the last part. So hopes, I guess it's easy to say that Generation 8 would be a big hope. Personally, I don't hope they rush Generation 8, because I wasn't the biggest fan of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. I felt they could have done things definitely a lot better if they had more time. So I'm honestly hoping for Generation 8 next year, not this year. So we get a massive Pokemon game for the Switch that's, you know, just perfectly made, not rushed, a lot of Pokemon, because I feel like if it was brought out this year, even though the release window is 2018 to 19, I just feel like it wouldn't be as good if they wait an extra year. If it comes out 2019, I feel like it will be twice as good. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. You guys might disagree, you might think it will be fine regardless whether it came out this year or next year, but I just feel like games are normally better when the developers have time to work on them. I guess my main hope for this year, if we do get a Pokemon game, will be a Mystery Dungeon game. I do think this is going to happen just because we've had a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game every single generation, and in terms of timeline, it does match up that we should be getting a Generation 7 Pokemon Mystery Dungeon this year. So let me go into a bit more detail about why I think we'll be getting a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game this year. First off, we had Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team, which came out at the end of Generation 3. It was moving into Generation 4, that's why we had a bit of a crossover with certain Pokemon like Munchlax, Weavile and Bonsly appearing in it ever so slightly. Also, Blue Rescue Team appeared on the Nintendo DS before any main series Pokemon game did. So Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out 2007, and Pokemon Blue Rescue Team came out 2006. I think we might see something similar this year with a Nintendo Switch. I think the Generation 7 Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game will come out before the main series Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. And we've also got a few other things like Pokemon Explores the Time, Darkness and Sky, which was the 4th generation Mystery Dungeon game that came out on the DS because Blue Rescue Team was very successful, so they made another one which was even more successful. Then we had a 5th generation one, Gates to Infinity, which we don't talk about because it wasn't that good. But like Blue Rescue Team, this appeared on the Nintendo 3DS before any main series Pokemon game did. So Pokemon X and Y came out 2013, I think Gates to Infinity came out 2011 or 2012, I want to say 2012, don't quote me on that. And then we had Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, which appeared at the end of the 6th generation. This came out in 2015, a very good game. Honestly, I think it's a bit underrated, and I really loved covering that game, so that's one of my favourite games for nostalgia, especially for YouTube. And so we're kind of expecting a move to the Switch. We've had 2 games on the 3DS, we had 2 Mystery Dungeon games on the DS, so I expect to move over to the Nintendo Switch very soon, and I expect it to appear before the main series game, which in all honesty, if the Pokemon main series game for the Nintendo Switch has a release window of 2018 to 2019, I can only think they're going to release it this year. Although Super Mystery Dungeon did feel like the end for the Mystery Dungeon franchise, just because the way it was made and the fact you can visit old regions. I don't know, it's either we're going to get another Mystery Dungeon game or we're never going to get one again, but I'm hoping that we do get a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game this year. So although a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game for the Switch is probably my biggest hope for Pokemon this year, that was also kind of a prediction that's, basically explaining why I think it's going to happen. So I'll make a few other predictions while I'm here, what I expect. I don't expect any new Pokemon games for the 3DS, I think that's it. They might do a spin-off one at most, but I just don't see them going back to it. And I'm not counting Detective Pikachu because we already know that's happening, but I feel like every other Pokemon game that's going to happen now is only going to happen on the Nintendo Switch. That's just my gut feeling. The Nintendo Switch is selling so well, it makes a lot of money, it's just a no-brainer to put everything onto that console. Even though the Nintendo 3DS has sold amazingly well and still has a big player base, it just doesn't make sense supporting that system any longer. It's had an amazing life, amazing run of games as well in terms of the Pokemon series, but you've got to let go eventually. They could have continued making Pokemon DS games, but they had to move to the Nintendo 3DS eventually, and that's what I see happening with the Nintendo Switch. I think it's quite possible we could get a brand new Pokemon game this year as well for the Nintendo Switch. It wouldn't surprise me if we see 2 Pokemon spin-off games for the Switch. We could just get 1, but I think we could get 2 if we include Mystery Dungeon and then maybe just a brand new one we've never seen before. I'm not sure what kind of game you'd like to see in terms of a Pokemon spin-off, but let me know in the comments. I can't really think of any on the top of my head, but yeah, I definitely would like to see a brand new Pokemon game that could maybe become my favourite spin-off game overall. And so to wrap up this video, I'm just going to talk about the topic that everyone wants to know about, Generation 8. We've got no evidence apart from the fact that they said there's a 2018-19 window for the Nintendo Switch game. Honestly, I think it's too soon for Generation 8 in terms of the timeline. Even if they have a lot of assets made, they've got to do a lot of work. It wasn't as easy as making or going from Pokemon X and Y to Pokemon Sun and Moon, because one is that's the same console, and 2, they could use a lot of the same assets. Even though the game did look quite different, to be fair, I still think it's going to be much more difficult to make it from the ground up for the Nintendo Switch basically. So I don't see this happening till 2019. I still think they're pretty far ahead in development. I wouldn't be surprised to know they have a lot done, but yeah, I just don't see it happening this year. I think late 2019 or maybe even summer 2019 release. I'd like a summer release, to be honest. We haven't had one in a long time really. So yeah, that is my prediction for Pokemon this year. No Generation 8, a couple of spin-off games, but to be honest that wouldn't be too bad, especially since we only had Ultra Sun and Moon last year and then Pokemon Sun and Moon the year before. I think we've done pretty well. So guys, those are my predictions for Pokemon 2018. Let me know in the comments below what yours are, and if you enjoyed this kind of speculation, scriptless video and you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon, Pokemon news, top 10s, top 5s, theories, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!